Everyone, welcome back to 5-Day Crypto. Happy Friday. My name is Chase. Today we're going to look at Chainlink. We're going to look at Link versus Ethereum, Link versus Bitcoin, Link versus the US dollar, and we're also going to get into maybe one important chart for Bitcoin and also take a brief look at the DXY. So if you liked the video today, give us a thumbs up, follow us on Twitter, Telegram, and Patreon. Everything can be found in the link below. If you want to learn a little bit more than what you see in the YouTube videos, follow us on there. So let's get started for Link Ethereum. We're on the 3-day chart. So looking at this, what do we got? Well, we got our trend line at the bottom, hopefully our big support line going back all the way to 2019. As you can see, after we broke resistance on this, we've talked about this level quite some time. This is a key level on the weekly chart as well. So we broke that, we came back down, tested it before moving off to the upside. But more importantly, what are all these things that you're seeing? Well, this is a new indicator that we're going to talk about today, so you can add this to your toolkit. This is available for free on TradingView. So if you have TradingView, you might have to pay for the TradingView account to get this, but I think they start around $15 a month or so. You can get free trials, so I would suggest if you're in crypto for long term, it's probably worth it. But go ahead and do that, and it's this one right here, Super Trend 10. Now, I don't use it very often. I don't talk about it very often for one main reason. First of all, it's just a momentum indicator. So it indicates the momentum of the move. And two, it seems to be very, not certain if the volatility is high. In these areas, I don't ever use it. And I wouldn't suggest you use it as well. But on the 3-day chart, I like it. I prefer it. It's just my preference on the 3-day chart. Has the least amount of fake outs. Also, you want to use it, in my opinion, again, to get the most accurate readings. You want to use it when the volatility is low. How do I know when the volatility is low, Chase? I'm glad you asked. You got to put on your Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands, folks. Right here. Look how narrow the bands are. Right? If you zoom out, look how narrow that is. That means low volatility. When the bands are like this, high volatility. This tool is not very useful. But low volatility is key for this tool, in my opinion, again. So when could we potentially get a buy signal for, you can use this on any coin. It's not just for Link or Ethereum or anything. You can use this on anything. So on the 3-day chart, my preference, like I've said, low volatility. How do you check that? Bollinger Bands, right? And then you have those check marks, right? Low volatility. And on the 3-day chart, you come back and look at it. And it will basically, this is the momentum level indicator. So once we get above this line, we should print a buy signal. That is currently, to make it nice and even, it's just above this 0.01 level for the Link Ethereum chart. So if you want to be super safe, wait till that prints. Then it does. Then you would want to have your Ethereum stack generally converted, a majority of it, over to Chainlink. Now, if you want to do it earlier, that's fine, but just understand that the risk could be that we break this. We don't have to hold this line, but it's becoming more and more, strong each passing candle that we get here. So these are 3-day candles. This is over 50 days we've held this, and it looks like it's key support based on back in here. But look at this. Last time we had a really key buy signal with low volatility was 2018, over 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? Over 36 months ago back in here. It's over, I think I looked it up earlier, it's like 1,150 days almost. Pretty amazing since we've had that. Okay, so what was volatility back then? I'm glad you asked. Look how narrow the bands were back then. You can't even see them, right? You could get the zoomed in chart, but really narrow, low volatility. Really narrow, low volatility. So once that prints again, maybe we got this coming to look forward to, right? That would be pretty exciting. So hopefully, fingers crossed, right? Happy birthday. Someone's birthday. All right, let's go look at a different chart and get away from this. But I just thought I would point that out. Now you got something else to look forward to on this weekend. A volatility indicator. All right. Link Bitcoin on the big picture. Weekly chart. Look at our trend line that we've been making since 2019. We've held it as bottoms for 2019, and now look what we're doing. This could potentially, in my opinion, this is what we're waiting for Link to explode against Bitcoin, is we're being suppressed here from this big picture, previous support often flips as resistance after you break it, which is what we've done against Bitcoin. So maybe this is what we're waiting on for Link to turn it around and really hit the rocket ship against Bitcoin. We got to break above this line again and start holding it as support. On a weekly scale, this could be key. Now, what I like is that we're holding above our 21-week EMA, which we're right on it right now, aren't we? So let's watch and what this closes in 2.5 days from now on Sunday evening for those of you in the United States. 2.5 days from right now. This will close as long as we're above here, the 21-week EMA. We have a chance to potentially come back up and test it again. If we break this, we're probably in for more downside action against Bitcoin. We'll see. But key trend line on a weekly scale, big picture, that's what you want to use. All right, Link on US dollar on the daily scale. We've talked about this as well. This is our potential golden cross approaching here. Some coins have already gotten it. Some coins are well beyond it. Potentially for Link, we're probably still looking at another 3 to 5 days, assuming that, price action doesn't just crash back down here, right? We've talked about support and resistance levels in the previous video. So if you haven't watched that, go check that out. And from a Tuesday, those should still be in there. Short term, like the next few days, we'd want to hold this 200-day moving average. This is a simple moving average. So right at $28 on the number, we need to hold above that until we can, hold the 200-day moving average, get more bullish, and then start holding the 50-day. That's what's gonna, give us the catalyst that we need to make the bigger moves. Until that happens, we're still kind of just stuck in the mud here. Okay, so last time we got a golden cross was way back here in February of 2020, before the pandemic drop, right? So we don't really look at that because it's kind of the anomaly, the black swan event. So the last golden cross was potentially probably going to lead into something like this, right? If we didn't, if we could omit the pandemic, then I think we would have likely have been kind of in this area with this golden cross, which was showing strength across, every coin pretty much was doing great. It was starting up again before the, the black swan, which is why we recovered so fast, right? So been a while, but after that, historically, golden crosses tend to be pretty good for said coin. That's just why they're called golden crosses. Death crosses tend to be pretty bad for coins, right? Hence the death cross. Which one sounds better or worse? Okay, so let's go look at what else we got. The Gaussian Channel. This is Polkadot. Let's get off of Polkadot. We talked about that yesterday. Get your charts lined up, Chase. There we go. All right, link on the 5-day. If you're new, we use the Gaussian Channel on a 5-day time frame. It tends to be the most accurate. You can use it on the daily or the weekly or whatever. Generally, the higher time frames would be better to look at versus shorter time frames. The shorter the time frame, the more fake outs you're going to have. So on a 5-day, tends to be most accurate. Buying at the bottom of the Gaussian Channel tends to be a good decision in the months and years ahead. But these 3 lines will act as support and resistance, as you can see here. Once you break one to the upside or downside, you're likely going to the next one. There's nothing certain in crypto but uncertainty, but you have to play the odds, right? So playing the odds is how all the hedge funds make all their money. Even the best hedge funds in the world are wrong 40-50% of the time. They're just right a little bit more than they're wrong with billions of dollars. So that's how they make their money. It's not like someone has a secret to success, right? It's just they know how to trade a little bit smarter than some people. And only some of them, right? So that's another story for another day. But getting back on track, Link USD, we've held support here on this median line, which is thicker for a reason. It's a bigger majority. If you're coming down here, you're more bearish. If you're up here, you're starting to hold bullish signs. But look at how much we've been in limbo here for Link. This is why we can't do nothing. We get up, we come back down. We go down, we come back up. So we're just kind of oscillating in between these 2 lines. Until we make a break one way or the other, we're just probably going to continue. You're going to continue on the path until you take a new path. So where do we need to get to make a new path? I'm glad you asked. It's $34 on the 5-day Gaussian Channel. That's cut and dry, plain and simple. If we break 34, hold it as support. On the Gaussian, it looks bullish. right? There's other levels based on support and resistance, based on, change from the daily candle, daily chart to the weekly chart. We have a little bit different levels, but on the Gaussian channel, it says we need to hold 34 as support before we can get more super bullish than we already are. So big picture time frame, I think Link is going to do quite well. It's trended up basically since inception. The only people that are, get frustrated with Link are people that probably bought, $40 to $50 range and just don't understand why it can't do anything. But it's up, thousands of percents over the past few years. So just patience in crypto usually leads to more profitable portfolios. Okay, what else we got? Link, big picture again on the time frame on the weekly chart, our trend line here. Look at our bottom trend line. This is the more important one than the top, right? Because the top, we only have one touch point back here and maybe one here. I'd like, when you draw trend lines, you want to have at least 3. That's the minimum. On the weekly time frame, they tend to be stronger trend lines than, like, say, a 15-minute chart, right? If you have 3 touch points on a 15-minute chart or 3 touch points on a weekly chart, the weekly one's going to be much more concrete. So right here, going back to 2018 again, a bottom, March 2020, a bottom, and July 19th, bottom. Okay, how long are those bottoms between each other? Let's take the average. Roughly, right? Roughly. We're doing rough here. Scruff McGruff, 450 days. Let's call it 450, right? How about to the next one? Well, we got about 500 days, right? So what if we have about those times for our next bottom? Let's see where we would be. So 450 would put us October, about a year from now, right? October, mid-October of 2022 for our next bottom. Look at the price. It's $100. I would like for a Chainlink bottom to be at 100. That would be nice, right? Okay, what about if we do 500? Let's go look. 500 days puts us roughly in December of next year still. If we are to repeat that and stay on this line, which are both, neither have to happen, right? We don't have to stay on this trend line. We could go higher. We could go lower. Are we going to? Who knows? But just fun to point out certain things, certain patterns. If they repeat, we're looking at, October to December of 2022 for a bottom around $100, give or take, right? If we December and we hold this line, might be a little bit higher. Now for the peaks, look at the peak, right? If we get another touch point up here, say in next summer, well, we could be approaching $200. Look at that. So if we continue this pattern, stay within this channel, on the high side, we could hit 200, maybe even a little bit more, based on if we, how long it takes. It's also going to depend on not only how long it takes, but how fast we get there. So if we go straight up immediately, it's a little bit riskier the faster the coins get up there. Like our summer bubble when Link went from, up to $20 right here. Look how fast it did this, right? Think of Solana as of recently, how fast that went up. That's why it's struggling to continue that. The faster coins move up, it's like a bullet train, right? If you don't really want to try to jump on the train because you never know how much when the tracks are running out. But you want to try to get in those coins before the train leaves the station. You don't really want to chase the train. You can, all kinds of troubles. But so maybe we're getting ready to, get on the Link hypertrain and, to bigger gains. All right. So just fun to point out for Friday. My personal opinion, I think we'll see at least triple digits Chainlink in the next 12 months at the very minimum. I think we could probably see, 200 if we take, about another year. I think it's going to take another year. If we're going to peak in a year, I think we can hit over 200 on Link, maybe plus or minus a little bit. I don't see it peaking at 200 or anything like that. If we're going to peak, in the next 3 to 6 months, it's going to take some time. The longer it takes, the higher the ceiling can get. So keep that in mind. All right. If you're still with me, let's look at some bonus content. We have the BLX, which is Bitcoin. It just goes back in history longer. So you notice this is Bitcoin's entire history on an RSI weekly scale. This is probably the most important line in all of crypto. It determines, if you go back and look at these where we are here, it determines bull and bear. Anytime we're below this line, roughly 53 on the weekly scale, below it is bear. Above it, bull. You can think of it like a farm if you're into that. The bears are on this side of the fence. The bulls are on this side of the fence. They can peek back and forth occasionally, but if you spend too much time on the other side of the fence, the other animal's gonna eat your other one. I don't know. So the peak that we're in, the market that we're in right now, generally in my opinion, is that we're repeating something similar of the 2013, 2014 double peaks. So there's plenty of videos on that that I've talked about before. If you're new here, you might be wondering what I'm saying, but if you're not new, you know that I believe that we're in the 2013, 2014 double peak cycle. I think we're going to make another peak in the next 12 months or so, 12 to 18 months. I would lean more towards 12. I think within about next year or so, give or take a few months, that we will peak again. And if that's accurate, and we believe that, look at 2013, 2014, the double peaks right here and right here. Well, look what we did. We peaked under this just briefly, and look what we did this time. We've peaked under it, although a little bit longer, but look, lengthening cycles. This time was a little bit shorter. This time was a little bit longer, but look what we've done. Look, earlier in this week, last week, we were actually under this. This will act like a hinge until we close, and this weekend we'll close. But this we need to hold above 53. I can't stress how important that is. We need to hold. Look at the start of the last bull market, right? We went up above it. We came back down, held it as support, went back up, came back down, held it as support, went back up, came back down, held as support. It's key. We have to hold this. If we close down under this and start coming down here, we're probably going to be bearish kind of territory for another several months, at least till the end of the year, in my opinion, if we start closing under here. Watch this on a weekly scale, the RSI on Bitcoin. You don't have to look it on the BLX. I just did that to show you back in these areas, these earlier areas. So if you just use Bitcoin, you're only going to be able to see back to probably about this area. With BLX you go further in history. That's the only reason. So using Bitcoin, that's fine now. If you just wanted to keep an eye on this, I would highly recommend you follow that and keep a close eye. All right, Crypto Fear and Greed Index. We're at 48. What does that mean? Well, let's go look at it down here. So we're coming back down a little bit. We broke market structure after we made a low, a new lower low, right? We didn't want to break our 42 level that we made back in August, and we did, right? We came down here. So now Bitcoin's fighting, all of crypto's fighting to rebuild this structure. So our house of cards collapsed a little bit. Prices are on the rocky shelves, as you can tell. The DXY is making some moves. The DXY needs to remain under 93.5. We'll look at that in just a second. Actually, let's just go do it now. We're already talking about it. Just go do it. All right. Bitcoin. Nope, not Bitcoin. What did I say? The DXY. Damn. Okay, so the DXY, our key level is we don't want to get above this. 93.5. What I just talked about, right? What would that, why that level? Well, then we make another higher high. That is what you do not want to do. We do not want the DXY. The DXY is, I don't know where these accents come from. The DXY is just the US dollar index. And when that goes up, crypto tends to have problems and goes back down. When the DXY drops, we all know crypto rocks. Okay, it's bad. So we made a high back in March 29th. We made another higher high August 16th. So we need to get rejected off of this, to say the least. Let's get a double top and go back down. This is what we want to do. We don't want to make another higher high, or we're in trouble, plain and simple. If we're continuing to show bullish signs out of the DXY, we're going to continue, in my opinion, to show bearish signs in crypto, at least for the short term. Now, macro term, we could put this on a monthly DXY, and you can see if we put this on auto, zoom out, for the past, 35 years, the DXY has been trending down, macro level. This is 1986 back here, right? This is probably older than most of you. So macro term, I think the DXY is in serious scrap. I think the DXY is going to be losing value in the big picture, as it always has been. But short term, right, we just got to continue going down here. We don't want to start reversing this trend that we've been doing since basically 2020. If we get another big drop here out of the DXY, which I think we will, this will certainly need to happen if Bitcoin's going to go to 100K plus. And crypto is going to, 5-10x from here. We're going to go to a, $10 trillion market cap. We have to make the DXY, get rejected somewhere in the not so distant future, back down and lose these levels would be just absolutely phenomenal for Bitcoin. I would suggest, I've always maintained that when Bitcoin's above 100K, I would highly suspect that the DXY is at or losing both of these levels, these lows, and making hopefully newer ones going into 2022, 2023, something like that. All right, so now let's get back on track to our crypto fear and greed index. So as we've broken market structure, made a new low, if we want to build back up again, we need to just make a higher high or a higher low. Right? We're high, we're building back up, higher high. So as we're coming back down now, we need to watch not breaking 30 again. So if we come back down and break 31 or higher, then we can start building this up again and start building a new structure, just like a building. So you break the building down, you got to start from scratch and start building it up again. You don't want to continue. If we come back down and we're like at 29 or something, it's going to be tough for crypto to make any kind of moves that are not pretty bearish for the short term. So watch that every day. All right, quote of the day. Rather fail with honor than succeed by fraud. So true. By Sophocles. A while ago. That was probably said a while ago. Why do you name your kid Sophocles? Name a dog Sophocles. Those names, why'd they go away? I don't know. All right, meme of the day. So it's from Wolf of Wall Street. I imagine if maybe they can make a new Wolf of Wall Street in maybe 10 years or something, maybe this will be in there about crypto. Be pretty good. All right. Car of the day. Mercedes, 1967. We're old school. This is one of our first old school cars we've done. 1967 280 SE convertible. I like that color. It's like black rose. It's like dark burgundy, but I got the model car and the white one, convertible, and the red interior. Pretty nice. All the trunk and hood opens. Yeah, I'd love to have like an old school car like this to cruise it around. Pretty slick. What do you think? Old school, new school. Probably old school guys are old school cars, right? You kind of favor what you're used to, but I still like them all. I like them all. So that's it for the day. Happy weekend. I'm going to be out of the country next week. So spotty Wi-Fi. I'm going to try to do whatever I can. But for the 4 of you that are still watching this long, I won't be in this area next week, but travel, laptop, I'll try to do my best. Might not have video on my next videos, but I'll have, hopefully can do some charts. We'll watch, keep an eye on crypto. Maybe I'll have my phone at the worst case. I can do updates. Follow me on Twitter, Telegram, Patreon. I'll try to do more updates on Telegram. If I can't make YouTube videos or upload or anything like that, if I have some issues, I'll at least try to keep up with Telegram throughout the week. Going on vacation again with my family, because you got to live it up when you got the chance. Why not? All right. I'll see you right back here on the next one. Peace and love. I don't know. I'll see you on the next video. Let me know if you have any questions. What do you want to see? What do you want to be? Stop. All right. See you on the next video. Happy weekend. Happy Friday. Happy Link Day. Every day is Link Day.